Co-main event, UFC 290. We are getting Brandon Moreno versus Alexandre Pantoja. Man, Brandon Moreno was like the king of rivalries, man. He is the king of going out there and fighting a man more than one time, right? We get the 4 fights with Deiveson Figueiredo, and now we're getting the 3rd fight against Pantoja. And one of the things that's interesting about this is, for the most part, when you get this rubber match, when you get the trilogy fight, it's because we're going in 1-1, or at the very least, if we're going in and the guy lost twice, these got to be some razor thin type decisions, and both men have gone out there and done incredible things since then, and that's really not what we're getting in this case. We got Moreno going in. He's down 2-0 going into this 3rd fight, and it wasn't. The first ones weren't under dispute. We saw exactly what happened in those ones. They were pretty clear-cut victories, stoppage and a decision, both for Pantoja. But Moreno's the champ now, right? Moreno's the guy who's coming in with the belt wrapped around his waist. He's the guy with all the buzz. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, he is the man who has made all the improvement. I'm not going to be long-winded about this one. I wish I would have got this fight out earlier. Just going to cut right to the meat and potatoes of the whole thing. I think Brandon Moreno is going to come out with the victory. I think he's made a tremendous amount of improvement since their first fight. I think he's made a lot of improvement since their 2nd fight. Pantoja, I don't really feel that way about him. I feel like he's the same guy coming in, and I think the big difference in this one is there's going to be a few things where Moreno is going to be able to shine. There's going to be a few things where he's going to be able to get, end up getting him the victory on this one. Number one is going to be his boxing. I think his boxing, he's been working with Jorge Capetillo now, man. His boxing is top notch, and I think that's going to be a big difference. His jab, it's long, it's straight, it's like a spear, man. He's quick with it coming out there. I think it's gonna play big factor for him, because Pantoja, man, he just comes in, he's off balance, he's going in with these really hard shots, he's swinging, he overextends at times, he's overly aggressive in the way that he can come forward, and the way that he's trying to apply this pressure. Probably he's trying to get in close because he's so good at grappling, man. His jiu-jitsu is top notch. You see the way that he's able to rattle off these submissions. He's got a submission victory over Moreno in their first fight, but I think that's all going to play in to the way that Moreno was able to use his hands, man. The boxing is crisp. The boxing is tight. He's able to go in there. He's going to be able to land some good shots. I also think his footwork is better than Pantoja, so I think he'll be able to avoid some of the pressure that Pantoja likes to apply. I think his work rate's going to be better. So I think he's going to be able to go in there. He's going to be able to outwork Pantoja while he's getting these shots off. I think his grappling is good enough. I think his defensive wrestling, I think his offensive wrestling, I think a lot of times people don't give him credit for that. We saw these fights with Figueiredo. Large amounts of those fights were decided on the feet. And I think sometimes people are quick to forget the other skills that Brandon Moreno possesses. But he is a well-rounded MMA fighter. I think that'll show in this fight, because we all know that Pantoja likes to make it a grappling affair, dude. His jiu-jitsu is strong. He likes to, that's part of the reason why he throws so hard. That's part of the reason why he kicks so hard. He's not worried about it turning into a grappling affair. He's dangerous off his back. He's dangerous when he's able to get your back. But I don't think he's going to be able to get the stoppage victory in this one. I don't think he's going to be able to see that type of success. And last but not least, one of the things that I think plays in Moreno's favor is that this is a 5-round fight. We have yet to see Pantoja go 5 rounds. We all know that Moreno can go strong over the course of that distance. I actually think this one will go the distance, and when it enters the 4th and the 5th round, I think it's going to be a big advantage for Brandon Moreno. So when we look at the work rate, we look at the actual technical skill that Brandon Moreno has with his hands, and we look at the fact that this is a 5-round fight, he's got the advantage in a 5-round fight. I know that there's a chance that Pantoja could come in there. This cardio could be top notch and he could go over the course of 5. But as we sit here and evaluate it right now, he's never gone 5 rounds. So I think his cardio will probably end up suffering a little bit. I think he'll be a little bit unsure whether he can make it, so he may be holding back in the earlier rounds. I think that when the going gets tough, so you need to constantly make these adjustments, the mental grind that comes over the course of 25 minutes. I think Moreno excels in all of those areas, and I think he's got that going for him. I also think that the X factor is just going to be his confidence, man. It's like it's tough to go in there and defeat a guy 3 times in a row. And we have seen Moreno just continue to grow. He's the champ now. He's got the belt wrapped around his waist. I think that he's got this huge confidence about him. I don't think he's worried about the power. I mean, we know that Pantoja's got power, but he dealt with the power that Deiveson Figueiredo has. And does he have more than Figueiredo at this weight class? Man, I doubt it. Even though Pantoja can crack, I doubt that he's got more than Figueiredo. And, Moreno found a way to handle that over the course of 4 fights. I think he's coming in riding high, man. I think his confidence is just through the roof. I think his skill set is continuing to just grow and improve. And I think he's going to come out there on Saturday night, UFC 290 co-main event, and get the victory. So let me know what you guys think. Am I overestimating what Moreno brings to the table? Is it actually going to be the opposite? Is those 2 victories for Pantoja going to help him out in the sense that he's coming in with the super confidence flying high because he knows that he can get this dude out of here. He's already done it 2 times. Let me know what you guys think.